Good evening. This is Dakota Jones and welcome to my video on the 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment states, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex." It also says Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. This amendment was introduced on June 4th, 1919. But did not get ratified by Congress until August 18, 1920. Through my research, I have found some interesting facts about the road to this agreement getting ratified. How does the 19th Amendment protect citizen rights? It gives men and women equal voting rights. Who supported the 19th Amendment and why? President Woodrow Wilson supported this amendment. He agreed to giving females the right to vote. The NAWSA, National American Women's Suffrage Association, led by Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Carrie Chapman Catt, and Lucy Stone, fought in many ways to have this amendment passed. Who did not support the 19th Amendment and why? The NAOWS's, National Association Opposed to Women's Suffrage, opposed to the women's suffrage. Among them was Josephine Dodge. She led the movement to establish daycare for working mothers, but was afraid that giving women the right to vote would destroy the family. Many people protested in the streets for this amendment, along with many people who did not believe women should have the right to vote. What history of events led to the ratification of the 19th Amendment? 1869, the NWSA, National Women's Suffrage Association, pushed for the amendment to the U.S. Constitution. In 1890, the NWSA, National Women's Suffrage Association, and the AWSA, American Women's Suffrage Association, came together to form the NAWSA. On June 27, 1917, 6 women were brought before the judge for obstructing traffic. What actually happened was they stood quietly outside the White House, protesting the right to vote. The judge found them guilty and fined them $25 or spent 3 days in jail. The women refused to pay, believing that if they paid the fine, it would be admitting guilt. So they were arrested and spent 3 days in jail. It was the first of many to be jailed on trumped-up charges while women were marching in the streets. The suffrage movement was coming to a close. It was making people change their ways of thinking about how women play an important role in our society. The suffrage movement gave women a voice inside and outside of their homes, to the point where the first state to allow women to vote was Wyoming. Finally being able to vote nationwide. But today we have many congresswomen and senators in our government. Thank you. This is Dakota Jones, and that was my video on the 19th Amendment.